Now, welcome back to another video. This is a weekly roundup, actually, and we've had some fantastic storylines in the Premier League and throughout the top five leagues. So let's get right into it. Kylian Mbappe scored in Real Madrid's game against Sevilla, and that means that he now actually equalized Cristiano Ronaldo's record for most goals in a calendar year in Madrid's history. Now, that is 59 goals for Mbappe in 2025 for Real Madrid, and he has cemented himself as statistically one of the best players in the club's history. Now, you will have to say he's had a fantastic year and he might be on a Ballon d'Or charge this season for 2026. I think we haven't yet even seen, which is the crazy part, the best of him in terms of goal scoring. I think he could outperform that in 2026 and score 60 plus goals actually. Now, because that is the big storyline this weekend, we will start with La Liga. Now, Real Madrid won 2-0 against Sevilla in, I don't want to see easy fashion, because it, on face value, it looks easier than it actually is. Real Madrid did struggle defensively in this game, but offensively it was quite good. Now, players I want to mention are Mbappe, Rodrigo, he was quite good, and Bellingham, of course, with that nice header from a Rodrigo free kick, from Rodrigo assist. He's probably having a remontada season because he was like 30 plus games without a goal now. A bad dry run, you could say, dry streak in terms of goal scoring, but he's had a fantastic game. He had a volley actually that almost went in, like a crazy flick, and volleyed it just after the flick. And Flaco Dimos had a fantastic save to actually save that shot from Rodrigo. That was that one shot here. Yeah, Mbappe actually took the free kick towards the end of the game because he wanted to break Ronaldo's record and actually score goal 60. Now Rodrigo, obviously a better free kick taker than Mbappe, should have had that one. Yeah, but Mbappe had a big storyline. I think he might break like Messi's record for most goals in a La Liga season. This season, maybe next one. He definitely has the potential to, especially if Xabi Alonso figures out how to perfect the system and actually get that defensive stability up as well and fix our issues in the team and even be more comfortable and score more goals. Vinicius had a decent game, completed the most dribbles in the match. Yeah, but he still was not happy after being subbed out. I think he actually changed the profile pic of his Instagram from his Real Madrid profile pic to the Brazil profile pic, so he's mad again. This guy, he just doesn't have the emotional intelligence nor discipline to behave like a professional footballer sometimes. Bellingham, great game. Yeah, was the most fouled player, so he got the most free kicks, won the most duels in the match, and had a very nice header. On paper, this looks way better than it actually should be, from Asensio and Rüdiger in particular. Those two I want to highlight, and not positively, because the left-sided players of Sevilla had them on ropes for a while. Especially Alexis Sanchez, Agume, Suazo. They could not defend them. They were too fast for Rüdiger and Asensio, and they've had some really good chances, especially this one I want to highlight from Sanchez, that long shot, fantastic long shot that Courtois then had to save. They got some really good chances, so it's actually way closer. Sevilla should have scored one, if not two goals, and yeah, 8.5 rating says it all for Thibaut Courtois. 5 saves, goals prevented, 1.03. Very good game from him. Now, Real Madrid then second in La Liga still, because Barcelona also won their match. Now, Barcelona, personally, it felt like a very good game from both the sides until Renato Vega got that red card, and yeah, then it was pretty much over by then. Lamine Yamal's got then got the second. Then you also had a great chance from Rafinha to make it 2-0 early in the first half. He hit the crossbar. Lamine Yamal also had a chance in the first half, which barely went over the goal. He did a fantastic game today. Won the most dribbles, created the most chances, won the most duels. So yeah, he basically had their side on ropes, of course, also because Vega got a red card, so it was easier for him then. Rafinha, good game. De Jong, I think he was actually had a quiet game in the first half, then got better, completed the most passes in the match, kind of the catalyst in this system, of course, because Pedri is missing. Now Barcelona then actually move up to, or not move up because they just stay in first place. And now after 18 matches, it looks bad for us because Barcelona are not gonna stop winning anytime soon. Now they still have the defensive issues with that high line, but it's just about almost as bad in Madrid as it is in Barcelona. And Villarreal actually still have 2 games in hand, so they can potentially solidify their spot in the top 4. I don't think it will be a title charge. I already said they will burn out, and they showed the first signs of that yesterday. Now Atletico also played a actually convincing game this time. Out of the 3 games, Barca, Villarreal, Real Sevilla and Atletico Girona, Atletico played the best game out of those 3 title contenders. Very good game, especially from Koke, who scored. Record player for Atletico, so he's got the most games played for Atletico. Fantastic goal he scored, by the way, that long shot. I would recommend checking out the Atletico highlights because that goal was just silky. Fantastic volley. Oblak had a good game, 2 saves, but great chances. The only great chances on goal that Girona got, Oblak saved. I also want to mention Barrios, good game. Alvarez, as always, the best player in Atletico currently. And Griezmann also got one from the bench. So Griezmann is maybe on his way, if he stays for a few more years, to be the 3rd best goal scorer in La Liga history. Actually, he's already like 10th or 11th right now. Now, within the all-time goal scoring charts of La Liga, Griezmann is on 204 goals right now, on 11th place, only missing out, 9 goals. He maybe will have 9 more goals by the end of the season, and then will be in 10th, 10 goals actually, because Paino got way less games than him, so he needs to have 10 goals, but he definitely can do that. And there is 51 more goals to be 3rd place. I don't think he will catch up to Cristiano Ronaldo, but if he stays for 3 more seasons, so this season and 3 more seasons, he could maybe be the guy to be 3rd in this list. Betis actually also got a decent win. Anthony with an assist. Now we have to mention him because Anthony, obviously, he's the GOAT. Got an assist right there. Let's just quickly see his rating. 8.7. Most chances created. Hit the woodwork and an assist. He's playing very good this season. Now the Premier League fixtures. This game, oh my god, bro. Newcastle, fantastic first half, by the way. Let's just look at the momentum. More momentum for them in the first half. Towards the end of the first half, Chelsea got a foothold in the game, and then the second half just dominated it mostly. However, I also have to say on the stats, Newcastle had 1 goal more on expected goals, so XG 2.3 to 1.2, so they should have won this game. Voltemade with 2 goals in the first half, and then they they worn themselves down, they won themselves out in the first half. They played so intense in the first half, Newcastle, that they almost weren't able to run in the second half. Besides Tonali, he still had gas in the tank in the second half. The rest, Ramsey, Gordon, Voltemade, Murphy should have been subbed out way earlier, than they maybe would have won this game. For Pedro, a very, very good scene from him there. Kind of capitalizing on the mistake from Malik Chow and scoring that goal. This is a striker's instinct, actually, and you haven't seen that too much from him. He's actually been, I think, underwhelming this season. He could have had more goals, but normally he looks better when Palmer's on, so now that he's back, now he has had a quiet game today because Newcastle locked him up pretty much and he was ineffective for most of the first half, then got better with his passes in the second half. Yeah, but still subbed out. The biggest X factor in Chelsea, so it tells you enough about this game, and it wasn't his game. Reece James, fantastic free kick. Now Ramsdale was actually out of position for that free kick a bit, but you still have to place it just besides the post to actually score that one. Sanchez had a good game, otherwise they would have lost if not for him. Garnacho is still the most frustrating winger maybe in the league to watch because he skies every chance. He can't shoot on goal, and if he does, it's normally an easy save for the keeper. Now, this was probably maybe the most entertaining game, I would have said, but then Liverpool came along with a wild game against Tottenham. And they actually got outplayed by 10 and then 9-man Tottenham. Because, well, it's just for a fact that these guys, this guy and this guy, are two idiots. Now, in German, there is a word called Trottel, and it didn't feel like Tottenham, it felt like Trottelham. What does that mean? Now, Trottel stands for idiot in German, and those two, it felt like an idiotic performance because they just lost their head with these tackles. Xavi Simons just got sent off for tackling Van Dijk stupidly, and Romero for having an argument with Konate and then the referee, and they should have won this game. Now, it is a error in build-up from Romero, who's had a horror game today. Then Ekitike, Wirtz and Isak actually got subbed down and scored his goal. Hopefully, because he's had an injury while scoring that goal, Van de Ven actually clapped him pretty much. Got him with a belt-to-ass tackle, Isak, when he scored that goal. Now Isak will be out for a while, probably at least a few weeks. It looked pretty bad, that injury, so get well soon, Alexander Isak. And then Ekitike just proves to be one of the best strikers in the league with that header. Only had one shot, but it was a devastating header, towering over Romero there, and he really had a nightmare game. He had that pass, that missed pass that led to the first goal, then got out-jumped by Ekitike. He let him dunk over him for that header and then got a red card at the end. So that should not be a captain's performance by Romero there. Wirtz, first assist in the Premier League, completed the most dribbles in the match and was the player of the match. Yeah, you could also give it to Ekitike maybe, but decent game from him. More to come probably, because you don't pay 120 plus mil if it's not a class player. Hopefully there will be more to come from him, because he's had a rough time so far, Florian Wirtz. Now, personally, I think this could have turned the game around. The sub on of Richarlison, especially if they sub him on earlier. Well, he scored the goal. and you thought maybe Tottenham could come back, but then they just shot themselves in the foot again with the red card of Romero, obviously. But Liverpool, it worries me that Liverpool's defense, even after being one man down, then conceding being two men down, struggled and almost conceded a second to that Spurs team. You can't let a 10-man or 9-man Spurs dominate you that way. Because, yeah, on face value, Liverpool won, but if you watch the whole game, you're gonna think to yourself, holy shit, we are lucky we actually got a win today. That puts Liverpool on 5th in the table, now Tottenham on 13th, which is the top end of lower mid-table for Tottenham. It doesn't look that good, only 4 places above where they finished last season on 17th, and Liverpool, I don't want to say they are back, but I think they're at least in a charge for the European places, potentially for the Champions League places, because Chelsea are also inconsistent. Now, on the contrary, a consistent team compared to Chelsea are Aston Villa, who won last week, and also Manchester City. Now, Aston Villa played Manchester United, and actually it looked like they didn't have that much momentum on face value, because they literally didn't have. United played the better game, actually created less expected goals, which is kind of crazy because they had 15 shots and 3 big chances. It's just that Villa were brutally efficient with 2 great strikes from Morgan Rogers, especially that first one, and 1 defensive howler to allow Konya to score the 1-1 in between. And now the thing is, if they actually had a finish or not, Sesko is not that kind of caliber of striker they want to have, because if he does score, and if Konya also scores the second goal he should have, that header from only a few yards out, then this is a game where Manchester United need to at least score 3 goals, I think. So this is not ideal, the way they're playing right now. Also starting Ugarte when Lisandro Martinez literally did a better job coming in from the bench. Yeah, that hurt. Also Bruno getting injured. Yeah, it's not ideal. They're missing Amad Diallo, Masraoui and Mbeumo because of the AFCON. Yeah, international duty for those 3. Kobe Mainoo also has a muscle injury that hurts. De Ligt also. Casemiro was suspended. Should be back for the next game probably. Now, well, Saint-Lamans is a better keeper than Onana, way better by the way. Maybe on the second goal that he concedes from Rodgers, he should do better because he had a hand on it, so he should probably keep it out there and not concede that one. From Villa's perspective, Rodgers' fantastic performance continues to be in contention for that starting attacking midfielder spot for the English national team, and that alongside, Palmer, Bellingham and Foden. So he really has been great this season. Also now on 7 league goals actually, just like Phil Foden, so it shows you the class this guy has, Morgan Rogers. Watkins has been largely quiet that game. Seems like he's pretty much finished this season. I don't know if he actually takes the second striker spot for England, so the backup striker for Harry Kane. Let's see if it's maybe someone else like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Tielemans has been decent. McGinn, yeah, just very hard worker. John McGinn also had a just decent performance. 1 assist, typical McGinn. Onana played a very good game, controlling the midfield, and I would say Madsen, he also had a very decent game, got a shot off, accurate passes. The left side of Villa, Madsen and Rodgers were dominating that right side of Euro and Dalot. Pretty much. Dalot was way too high up, and Euro had problems with Rodgers, especially on that first goal. he shouldn't get off that nice shot and have that much space to actually curl it in to the far corner. Martinez also had a good game. It's just a defensive howler right there from Cash. It's not even a back pass, a bad one for that one goal that Cunha's got. It's just that Dorgu got the ball off him and it went directly into the path of Mateus Cunha to score that goal. It's a very easy goal to score from there. Aston Villa actually move up to 3rd place then, and United are on 7th. Nottingham and Fulham still play today, by the way. And yeah, it just looks like it's a three-man's race right now. In the Premier League, it's between Arsenal, City and Villa. Now, Arsenal actually also won their fixture with just one penalty goal from Victor Gyökeres. I'll be honest, I didn't watch that game. Well, and City played against West Ham. Another 2 goals from Erling Haaland. He's just a monster this season. I don't know if there's anything more to say about him, really. Reinders, Turkey, good game from them. Turkey especially, with the terms of creative passing, I've seen this game again, created the most chances this game. Fantastic. He can play, I think, anywhere in those right-sided attacking positions or central attacking midfielder as well. He's an absolute gem for that City attack and just basically creates a chance out of nothing for that Reinders goal. Dribbles past one defender, passes it into the path of Haaland, and Haaland just forwards it basically to Reinders with a very, very good finish right there. And Haaland, yeah, 2 goals, 1 assist, player of the match. What more to say about him? He just bypassed Cristiano Ronaldo in the all-time Premier League goal-scoring charts. He's an absolute beast. So 19 Premier League goals this season already, and we're in December, by the way, guys. So he could maybe score 35 plus goals again this season if he stays fit in the Premier League. So just wow. And West Ham, yeah, they might really be getting relegated. Also, from City's point of view, Donnarumma, 4 saves. Shows you that City are not invincible defensively because Donnarumma had to make 4 saves. And they are 2 points behind Arsenal right now. So City are like bloodhounds that they're just waiting for you to drop points. Now Arsenal, if they don't win every game from now on, or most of their games, it could very well be another bottle job right there, and they might not win the Premier League. Also, Aston Villa, I'll have to positively mention because they beat Arsenal and City and only lost to Liverpool since their great form, their great purple patch they've had now for the last 10 games. Playing Chelsea next could be another win, even though it's actually away from home. Chelsea are also good in big games, so it might be a draw, which is good for Arsenal then, and Villa will actually drop off a bit if Arsenal win against Brighton, which they should be. And Forest, Manchester City, well, Manchester City should win this again. Liverpool play Wolves next. Oh, them poor Wolves, only on 2 points after 17 games. It looks inevitable to be the worst Premier League season of all time, even worse than the Derby County team. Sunderland still on 6th. Very, very good job, even in mid-season now. United, Palace, yeah, United, already talked about them. Frustrating team to watch at the moment. Crystal Palace probably shouldn't have lost against Leeds, but we move still in upper mid-table, so decent. Brighton also there. Newcastle is a team which I would expect to be higher. It's just their form in the league is suboptimal. In the Champions League it's decent, actually better than in the Premier League, but they should be moving up to like 8th, 7th or even 6th with the players they have, with the squad they have. Serie A also had some games this weekend. Some games actually got postponed because there is still the Italian Supercoppa being played in Saudi right now, which is Napoli against Bologna in the final. So Bologna actually beat Inter on penalties in the semis. And this will actually be a game that's played today. So look out for that, guys. If you want to watch anything today, you might want to watch this game between Napoli and Bologna. Well, Napoli should win this one, hopefully. And Serie A, because of the Super Cup, had a few matches postponed. And Juventus actually did play because they weren't qualified for the Super Cup and got a win, which now puts them on fifth in the league. Now the other teams have one game in hand, Bologna, Inter, Milan, Napoli, but they are now, as it stands, putting more pressure on the top four, only 4 points off top, so decent for them. Actually, quite competitive if you look at the table, with first to fifth on just 4 points difference as it stands now, and Bologna, Como, Lazio also being, and even Atalanta, Bergamo, and Sassuolo. So everywhere from first to fifth it's close, and from 6th to 13th it's quite close. Then there is a 4 points gap. So as it stands now, you can't really say who's gonna win Serie A. I wouldn't want to bet on anyone because you can't really tell. Atalanta also got a win. Lazio played a draw against Cremonese, which hurts a bit. Now Cremonese's most notable name is obviously Jamie Vardy. Already has 4 goals in the league. He might hit double digits this season. With Cremonese being a mid-table team, this might actually work out, because they are on 11th now, potentially even in contention for European spots if they have a great purple patch towards the mid-season now and the second half of the season. Bundesliga, yeah, it's also business as usual for Bayern Munich, 4-0. Kane, Diaz and Olise, the 3 world-class attackers, again on the score sheet, which now puts them up for 9 points ahead of Dortmund. Very comfortable lead for them. They won't have any problems getting it over the line this year. And also shout out to Stanisic, player of the match this game. Yeah, that one just hurts. Dortmund just bottling again. Oh, and Joe Bellingham got a red card as well. Ouch. Lastly, I want to say the AFCON just started, and Morocco just played yesterday against Comoros. Great goal, by the way, from El Kabi. Brahim Diaz, also one of the most important players there alongside Hakimi. I would watch out for the AFCON because nutty things happen here. Literally the second goal from El Kabi, who was subbed in, was a bicycle kick, so it was kind of crazy. And these crazy things happen at the Africa Cup of Nations, so I would watch out for this tournament. Now guys, what did you find the most interesting this week, the most spectacular? Have I missed any major storylines? Do you think I've had a hauler with missing out on some of these? Or do you think everything's been covered well? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye.